I hear filmmakers say, I've been in the game for 20 years, like that's supposed to mean something. Yeah, but what have you done lately is a question that I ask on a regular basis. I'm a documentary director and DP. I shot for the History Channel, BET, and Independent Lens, and I've worked for people younger than me and people much older than me. And I can tell you, nobody on set is checking for your birth certificate. Today, I'm talking to three groups of people. The young filmmaker who thinks their age is holding them back, the mid-career person who feels like they're behind, and the veteran who thinks that their years make them better than everybody else. All three of you are wrong, and I'm going to tell you why. What's going on, world? I'm Eric D. Seals, and today we're talking about why nobody in this industry cares how old you are, and why that should free you up and not hold you back. So keep in mind, age, especially in our industry, is not nearly as important as it is for some other industries. If I'm gonna have life-saving surgery, I want a veteran who's been in the game for a very long time, and hopefully they're a little bit older. But in filmmaking, especially with the technology that's connected with this, your age is not a credential like it is in other industries. And so that's something that you need to keep in mind. Sometimes younger filmmakers use this as a reason that they're not getting hired because like, oh, I'm too young, or they want other people. And then on the flip side, you have veterans who use it as a proof of why they're better than many other people. And that's just not true either, because sometimes those veterans aren't keeping up with the newest technology and the newest processes, and they get left behind. Sometimes when you hear someone say, I've been in the game for 20 years, they feel like that matters, but it really doesn't. And then you have people in the middle, the mid-career people who are online constantly comparing themselves to other filmmakers and other people who are doing more than they're able to do in their career at this point, and comparing themselves and making it feel like they're behind. And the truth is, you're not behind either. Everybody goes at a different speed. That's the thing that I love about filmmaking so much. Your age does not determine how fast or how slow you can go in this career. If you want real information about building a filmmaking career at any age, hit subscribe. I put out a new episode every week just like this. If you're young and you think you're not getting jobs because of your age, I need you to hear this. Age is not the reason. The reason is you don't have experience yet. And we hear that all the time, but your work isn't there yet. And in a lot of cases, you're immature. That's not an insult. It's just a gap in what you're able to see. The real reason that a lot of young people aren't getting hired, it's not their talent, it's their experience, which you have to work on, it takes time, but it's also their maturity. You can kind of tell when you're on set with someone who happens to be a little bit younger or who hasn't been in the field as many other people. Anytime we get thrown off by someone's age, is usually by how they act. So if you want to get on set, or you're mad that you're not getting enough opportunities, while you can only work on your experience so much, look at how you're behaving. Are you showing up on time? Are you being goofy on set? Do you just have an immature or young attitude that makes it seem like you're not there to handle business? And if that's the case, that might be the reason that you're not getting work, not because you're young. You can usually spot the younger people on set, not by their looks, but by their behavior. When it comes to responsiveness, showing up on time, being professional, that's what people are looking for, and it's mandatory on set. Young people's biggest disadvantage isn't age. It's usually reliability and professionalism. But here's the flip side, and this is the part that young filmmakers need to hear. You don't have to wait. You can start doing big work right now. So think about John Singleton. He directed Boys in the Hood at like 23, 24 years old. Let's just put it this way. He was the youngest Best Director nominee of all time. You have Theodore Witcher, which directed Love Jones at the age of 24. Ryan Coogler, who is changing the game, directed Fruitvale Station at 27. Spike Lee made She's Gotta Have It at 29. These are not outliers of people who got lucky. They were talented and ready. Age had nothing to do with what they were destined for. You don't get those opportunities because you're older. You get them because you're ready, and you can be ready right now if you want to. That's the young filmmaker. But there's a second group watching this video right now, and their problem isn't age either. It's comparison. Let me chat with them real quick. If you're in the middle of your career and you feel like you should be further along, I need you to hear something. You're comparing yourself too much. You're comparing yourself to a version of other people's careers that don't exist. You might be at a point where you're in between two other groups. Your brand is not strong enough. You're not quite a veteran yet, but you're not a newbie. It's a tough place to be for a lot of us. And online is a toxic wasteland of comparison, and people are getting jobs and you're not, and you feel like, why am I not getting those jobs? The first thing you need to do is stop comparing yourself, because everybody goes at a different speed. It doesn't matter how old you are. There are so many factors that determine people's careers, from nepotism to location to experience to college to film school. There's so many reasons why we're on a different trajectory, and you need to keep that in mind. A lot of what you see is relationships, nepotism, and positioning. It's not just talent. Some people are taking photos on set next to cameras that they didn't operate because actually they're a production assistant. Some are lying on their resume. Some people are stretching the truth online, and you're comparing yourself to something that's not real. I've been on many sets, and I had to learn really early you cannot compare different people by their age. I've worked for people who were a lot younger than me, and there's people who have been older than me. And I just had to understand that filmmaking is not, you just go up in age equivalent to everybody else. We are all going at different speeds. Some people are 18 years old and are way ahead of me, and there's some people who are 60 that I'm way ahead of them. It's just not the same across the board, and the quicker you realize that, the better you start to feel, because you realize that you're just in your own bubble. You're in your own world. And when you start looking at other people's worlds, that's when you can start feeling bad. But everybody's on their own path. Like many other careers, we want our career to match the amount of years that we've been in the game, and it doesn't work that way. That's the mid-career person. Now, we talk to the third group, which I'm almost in, the veteran group, and I'm not gonna be gentle about it at any point throughout this. If you've been in this industry for a long time and you lead with that, I have a question for you. Okay, what have you done lately? I hear on a regular basis, I've been in the game for 20 years, so I'm gonna listen to people. I'm like, bro, 20 years, then there's some learning that you need to do. Some of the veterans, while very talented, need to understand that what you did in your earlier days of your career may not translate to what's going on today. And you can't use the number to say that you know better than someone who's younger. In many cases, you might know a little bit better, but there are a lot of young people who are getting down with tools that weren't even available when you were just starting, and you need to listen to them because they're gonna help you stay relevant. So time in the game doesn't mean you're right, because technology changes on a regular basis. Actually. So I quickly know when I'm filming with someone who's much older, because they'll use references, one, that we don't use anymore, or they'll apply rules that we no longer abide by, because back then, I won't say back then that the technology and the sensors were completely different, but essentially as technology advances, rules change. And if you don't adapt with the new technology, you're assuming that filmmaking can only happen a certain way. The thing that I see happen all the time is when someone comes from broadcast and then they're starting to work in documentary filmmaking, and their lighting concept, their framing concept, they can't break the rules of broadcast. And that's something that I notice on a regular basis when someone can't break the rules. And for documentary filmmaking in particular, you should know that there are no rules. There are guidelines that are highly suggested, but there are no rules on how we do this entire thing. And if you think that it has to be done a certain way because this is the broadcast channel that I used to work at and this is how we do it, then you're gonna get left behind really quickly, because most of these kids have no idea what you're talking about. I'm nowhere near being a kid, but I can at least adapt to understand both sides of it. So just keep that in mind for the older folks who think that things have to be a certain way. There's no has to, there's no have to or have to. There's neither of those in documentary filmmaking. It's what works best for the story. So I've been on many sets where young people are outperforming the older people on set. And honestly, the only reason that we find out that they're younger is because they make a reference to a movie or music, and you quickly realize that they might be a little bit younger than everybody else. So when we look at the situation of age and we ask, okay, well, if age doesn't matter, then what does matter? And there's really one thing that we're all looking for, and that's talent. If you've been in the game for 2 years and your work is incredible, you're gonna get hired. And if you've been at it for 30 years and your work is a little shaky, then nobody cares how long you've been in the game. Game recognizes game, and people are going to hire talent, because that's what matters the most. Creativity, reliability, and the ability to tell a story well. People who live and bleed this work get to the next level at any age. Nobody asks your age on a call sheet, they look at your reel and your references. When you're thinking that it's age, that's just something that you conjured up in your brain. If you're capable of at 17 or 75, people want good storytellers. All right, I have a task for each group. So for my young people, I want you to work on your reel, your responsiveness, and your professionalism. Those key elements are gonna help you get hired more. For my folks in the middle of their career, stop comparing yourself. The online community sometimes is toxic, and the only competition is yourself. And for my vets, I need you to learn some new tools and stop leading with the years that you've been in the game. 3 groups, 3 different actions, no excuses. So that's something that I think about as I start to get older and I'm working with people who are younger. I need to keep in mind that yes, I do understand that there are certain ways that I've learned how to tell different stories, but I have to be open to the new things that I'm not used to that might make me uncomfortable so that I can stay relevant. Because I'm not gonna be one of the people that say, I've been doing this for 20 years and you need to listen to me, because that's just not me. And it's not me because I always rebelled against those people when I was younger. So young filmmakers, your age is not the problem. Your work and your professionalism are the gap. Close it. Mid-career folks, stop scrolling and start creating. The only timeline that matters is yours. And for the vets, your current years are not a credential. Your current work is. Adapt or get left behind. So here's my challenge. In whatever group you fall into, pick one action step from this video and do it this week. Not next month, not next year, this week. Then come back and tell me what changed. Once again, I'm Eric D. Seals. Keep telling stories that matter.